Hey guys, who's ready for spring? I know we are. My name's Renee, and for us, spring means wedding season. Wedding season means some of our most favorite DIY ideas. So today we're going to be working on clear acrylic wedding invitations. We will be laser engraving them, and we love this idea because it is very simple. It's very simple to do, and you really need very few supplies. So join us. Let's get started. Okay, so as amazing as this project is, it actually needs very little to accomplish what we're doing. So I have some clear acrylic sheets. I got these from Hobby Lobby. I have two different kinds of paint. I've got some chalk acrylic paint and some tempera paint. Either one of these will work. You can pick either one. I prefer to spray them on with an airbrush, but today I'm just going to paint them on. So you can kind of see these two. We use either one of these, doesn't matter. Also, you're going to want some kind of paper that's going to go behind this once you engrave it so that it gives it a little bit of color. And if you have a larger sheet of paper, you might need something to cut it with. Or you can also use scissors, of course, just, regular scissors. Okay, so I'm going to lay this sheet out here and paint this really quickly because I want them to dry. I'm going to go ahead and, even though we're doing just one, I'm going to go ahead and paint a couple of them. You can use any kind of paint, really, just something to cover this because, it needs to have something to actually engrave. You can do the front or the back, either one. You just don't want the diode to go through the clear. There we go. They look good. We're just going to let these dry, and while these are drying, we're going to go set up our project and set up our laser and get it ready. Okay, so I have used the lever here on the side of the laser, and it is just barely touching, which is perfect. So once I get it perfect, you want to make sure that you lift it back up so that it doesn't scrape the engraving. And then now that we have that perfect, I will recenter it, and then we will hit this button to do the framing from the XCS program. I always recommend having the honeycomb. I use it 90% of the time. Very rarely do I need to actually take it off for any reason. So I do always recommend having it on. Also helps to align things. Okay, so we're going to call that center. I am going to put this just barely on the corner up here. We do need to import our image. I'm going to be using an SVG file. It's a combined file, so I'm going to actually remove part of this. I'll do those later. I'm then going to select this entire image, and I'm going to group it so that I can move it around without losing any elements. I also am then going to unite the image. And what this does essentially is it puts and welds all of the shapes and letters and everything together so that when the laser is lasering the project, it just simply goes from top to bottom or bottom to top, left to right. And it does each piece as one piece rather than doing different pieces at a time. So then I'm going to select this again, and I'm going to resize it because my project is a 4x6, my acrylic. So we're going to put this to 3.808, and it will automatically do the height as well. So I'm going to select it again. You always have to have it selected if you're trying to do any of the settings. So now we're going to come over to the side here because we have everything done up here. and we're going to choose laser flat because we're not using the rotary. We are also going to choose user-defined material because I always do a speed and power test on any new material to see what speed and power gives me the best possible outcome. So for this, we're going to use user-defined material. Be sure and select engrave. If you select score, it's just going to make a mark. It's not actually going to engrave the image. So we are actually going to go with 20 power. I do have a 20-watt laser, so 20 power wound up being perfect. And then we are going to go with 80 millimeters per second on the speed. You could probably go up to 30 power on this. Between 20 and 30 was probably perfect. Any more than that, and it kind of burned through a little bit. So I'm going to stick with 20 power. We will also keep 100 lines per centimeter and bidirectional engraving mode. So now that I have everything set up and we already positioned the laser itself on the acrylic in the previous step, so now we're going to actually frame it and make sure that I have it even. So you'll just click process. And then once this menu comes up, I need to actually select the origin down here because I do have it at the top in the middle. So I'm going to select that origin. Estimated time is about 30 minutes. Usually this is in the general area. I did find that when I was doing the testing that it did not take 30 minutes. So, you know, you could speed do the speed a little bit higher, do the power a little bit higher if you need to do it in less time. I just find that these for me it's been the perfect settings. Okay, so now that I'm ready, I'm going to actually click frame. And then we're going to move over to the laser and we're going to hit the framing button and we're going to frame the project. We're going to hit the framing button and see what happens. Okay, that looks pretty even to me, I would say. Okay, so now that the project is framed, it's complete, we're ready to go. We're going to come back over here and we're going to hit framing completed. And now we're actually ready to start the lasering. So in the program over here, we're going to hit start. And again, it's going to prompt us to push the start button on the laser. And once we move over and press the start button, it's going to actually start lasering and we'll watch it complete our project. We'll let you guys kind of see what it looks like before we wash it, and it looks like it did a great job. You can kind of see it better from the back. Simply, you're going to use a sponge or a paper towel or whatever, and you're going to wash it off in the sink or wherever, just with some water, just warm water. I found some beautiful blue tissue paper. You can also use vellum, which is traditionally what you find with acrylic invitations. But I did want to find something where you guys could actually see the engraving and how beautiful it is and how well it turned out. That is just a reflection of my light, which is actually allowing me to show you guys the engraving. But it did turn out very beautiful. All of the fine details are very crisp. You can read them. It's gorgeous. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today and letting me do this project for you. And I look forward to doing more projects with you guys.